celebrate this holiday, I think that are, or we all think, sorry, that are applicable to one's self-development and fulfillment. So, Suzanne, over to you.
Thank you.
And I'll hang out and listen, actually.
Yes, such an evolved man. I like that. Thank you all for. So yes, as I said, my name is Suzanne, and my business is called Absolute Confidence. I am a confidence coach for women, and I'm super excited to be here. And I don't know if some of you may know that I believe that confidence really is the foundation for everything in our life. Basically, the level of confidence we have and how we feel about ourselves directly affects how we do every single thing in our life, right? So, absolute confidence is having complete trust and respect and self-awareness and love for yourself. And given this time of year, is the season for us to talk about love, right? So I thought it would be a good idea for us to talk a little bit about self-love. So on that note, I'm curious to know what all of you guys listening here think about the fact that somebody like myself can say that I love myself and I have self-love. What are the things that come to mind when you hear a woman say that? That's awesome.
Amen.
Wow. Okay, you don't get gold stars. That's fantastic. Okay, I'm done. Thank you very much. No. But that's typically not the norm. Most women don't necessarily agree that that's a good thing. And that's typically because we have, and I'm sure most of you will agree, we've kind of been socially conditioned to think that a woman who openly expresses her love for herself is thought of as being egotistical or being vain or being self-centered. Anybody agree that that might be annoying? Yeah. Right? Although it would be awesome if every woman was like, yes, I love myself and she loves herself and we're all here to uplift everybody. That's not the norm, period, right? So, because of this sort of label that we've been given as women, it's challenging for women to openly say, hey, I love myself, I have self-love. But the reality is that people who openly love themselves are people that can give more love to other people. Anybody agree? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. Self-love is not what most people typically think, which is somebody who is high on themselves or somebody who's self-centered, somebody who's egotistical or vain. All of those sort of definitions and all those actions have a very different meaning than that of self-love. Self-love, my definition for self-love, is somebody who has a deeply affectionate relationship with themselves and somebody who can consciously make themselves a priority. It's very, very different than being selfish. So how I say it is it's an amazing thing to be centered in yourself and not self-centered. So it's very, very different things, right? We like that? High five. All right. So that being said, I kind of wanted to share some tips with all of you about how I ensure that I'm constantly in alignment with myself and being centered in myself and showing myself love. So would it be okay if I shared with you kind of my tips? Sure. Awesome. Okay. Tip number one, very, very important. The difference between people that are insecure and people that have confidence is that people that are insecure will typically focus on their weaknesses and their faults, right? So I don't know how many of you women here maybe have friends or heard women say, oh my God, I look fat, I look horrible, I hate the way I look, blah, blah, blah. And they focus on all the things about themselves that they don't necessarily like. Anybody here heard that? Mm-hmm. Right? So many women do that. A confident woman does not do that. A confident woman will focus, so she'll know who she is, number one. There's 10 components to confidence. The very first component is self-awareness. So that is knowing all aspects of yourself. The good, the not so good, and the amazing, right? As confident women, you focus on your strengths and you focus on your gifts. So self-awareness is of the utmost importance. So my number one tip is to write down, and you can do this when you get home tonight, Friday night, with your hanky-panky gifts and a glass of wine. You get a piece of paper and a pen, and you write down 10 things that you really like about yourself.
10?
I love it! I love her honesty. Okay, at my workshops, that's a hard thing for a lot of my students. They're like, it's 3 in my workshop, and I'll give them 5 minutes, and for the most part, we've been, again, socially conditioned into this habitual way of thinking that me doing that, me writing that down, and me thinking in that headspace is me being egotistical, and me being vain. And there aren't that many things. When the reality is we have at least a couple dozen things within us once we like clear the cobwebs and kind of dig deeper, right? So I want you all to go home tonight, or maybe first thing tomorrow morning, and write down 10 things that you really like about yourself and focus on those things. And you have moments where you're not really feeling your most confident self, it's a really great tool for you to go back and look at those things. So I have my list of things. Or something. No, you can't do it.
Well,
You guys are all sexy and fabulous. And
Yes.
you're all well dressed. You've
And
got 2 already.
Come to my workshops, yes. So write down 10 things that you really like about yourself. And if you have a hard time coming up with 10, then you contact your family and your friends and you ask them, hey, what do you like about me? Typically, yeah, and typically they see the things in you that you may not see in yourself, right? So that's number 1. Number 2 is really the best thing that you can do for yourself and for anybody that maybe doesn't have a partner yet is to really get to know yourself. So understand all aspects of yourself, have self-awareness, understand what your values are. How many women here can say that they know what their core values are? Not very many. Most people don't even know what that means. Core values, right? So it's my belief that we have 5 core values that we're innately born with, and we have 5 additional values that we learn throughout the course of our life. So having this insight is completely, like, absolutely mandatory. You have to know what your core values are in order for you to live with absolute confidence and to have a life that's really fulfilling and really rewarding. So that's number 2. I'll put my little list because I want to make sure.
Can you give us an example of values?
Well, ask me what my core values are.
What are your core values?
I'll tell you what my core values are. My core values, number 1 is happiness. That's my number 1 core value. Number 2 is freedom, adventure, trust, honesty, respect, integrity. So things like that. These are the things that motivate you to do what you do. These are the things that get you up out of bed. These are the things that give you a sense of satisfaction. These are the things that drive you. These are also characteristics that you seek out in other people. So for example, in a relationship with somebody, if somebody who doesn't value happiness, or like my ex-boyfriend, who doesn't value freedom, and he's like suffocating me, I shut down. Just saying. I shut down. And
Who needs a man?
Yeah. For me, it's like, one of my friends actually said this to me, and it was a really great analogy. It's like somebody clipping my wings. Like, I need my freedom, and not knowing what your core values are is a huge disconnect. You'll have an inner conflict going on where you'll be doing things, and you'll be like, I don't understand why I feel so miserable. I don't understand why I feel so out of alignment or not on purpose. That's because you're not in alignment with your core values. So that took me a while until I started working on myself to figure out what that meant. Very, very important. The third tip is to really be your authentic self. So there's 4 different kinds of confidence, and one of them is authentic confidence. And it's a kind of a rare thing to find in women nowadays. And a lot of women are really, influenced by the media and influenced by what everybody else around them is doing. It's extremely important to be authentic versus artificial. So do whatever it is you want to do. If you want to wear a crazy blue feather thing on your head, then you wear it. And it doesn't matter if everybody in Vancouver's wearing their, what do we talk about, Lululemons? Yeah, and their Uggs, right? It's not our fault if everybody else is underdressed.
Exactly.
No, right? Okay. The 4th tip is to know what you want, and this is so huge. And this comes with having great self-awareness, is to know what you want for yourself, not only for yourself, but in your future partner. There's 4, what little formula I have, the 4 C's to having success in life. The first C is clarity. You have to know what you want. Clarity is of the utmost importance. That's not only clarity in who you